Hey, we are live. It is July 25th, Monday, and we are back for episode number 148 of the Seacoast Beverage Lab podcast. I'm your host, Brian from the Seacoast Beverage Lab, and we are back. We took a week off. Carla was doing some traveling. Sean was doing some drinking. I mean, we all were. Let's be honest with ourselves. But we are back with some good things to talk about, and of course some good beers to talk about. I am starting off by drinking as I hit the mic with it, the Excess IPL from Jack's Abbey, coming in the 16-ounce can. I don't believe it's available in Massachusetts, or I'm sorry, in New Hampshire, but
Oh yeah, it is.
In New Hampshire?
Yep.
Maybe it was sourced from Massachusetts where I got it. BM Watts got it for me from, I believe, Julio's. Maybe he was misinformed. I can talk to him about that. But Excess, what's the rundown on that, Sean? Do you know any high level things?
Just that it's a double IPL.
Double IPL?
Very limited. Only comes in 4-packs, 16-ounce cans.
Nice.
And they do it kind of like, and their goal is to kind of have it be sold within a very short period of time. So they want to go in and out, so people still drink it fresh. Yep.
It says 3 times dry hopped, 16-ounce can, holds nice in the hand. And as we were talking about before the show, I'm pretty excited that they announced today that there will be 16-ounce 6-packs of the Copper Legend Oktoberfest, which is one of my favorites. And if Norm was here, he would be sharing my tears as well. It's both of our favorite Oktoberfests. And it'll be in New Hampshire, too, so Wunderbar. It's great.
Super.
Yeah, so that's what I'm drinking. I like it. I'm going to pass it to you, Sean. Let's go in reverse these here. What are you drinking, sir?
Thanks. This is Sean from TwoBeerGuys.com. I'm currently drinking a Ballast Point Grapefruit Sculpin.
Ooh, that's a good one, sir. And for this weather?
Yes. Yeah, it's perfect.
Nice.
This is an India Pale Ale with natural grapefruit flavors.
Straight from the bottle?
Straight from the bottle.
Look at us. We are Rebel IPAs this week.
Coming in at a little... It's a 7% ABV IPA, so it's one of those go big or go home IPAs.
It's good. And I recently got a thing in an email, I want to say a week or two ago, from a bitters company that are trying to send bitters to put in IPAs to kind of make it taste like a grapefruit IPA. So there's a lot of companies trying to imitate the fruit IPAs that are coming out. I don't know. Have you heard of anything like that? Trying to infuse an IPA by yourself without buying the grapefruit IPA?
I've only heard of the hops that have flavors of grapefruit, so it's not traditional grapefruit in it.
Yeah.
It would be funny if people were kind of putting that slice of a grapefruit on the side of your glass.
Yeah, right.
kind of like an orange or a lemon.
It's like a full breakfast. It's like here's half a grapefruit just in a spoon. Get out of you, weirdo.
Exactly. But you get the spoon with the it's like a spoon knife.
Yeah. Oh, I like those. Yeah, you won't get those back. Talk about stealing pint glasses. You're not getting that spoon back if you bring that beer to my. Right on time. Cracking the beer, Carla. What are we cracking open here?
We are cracking open one of my favorite local gozas, Rising Tide Pisces.
Nice.
Just love it, and it's really hot in here right now. So, so this is a nice one. It's comes in at that's the. I was about to look for the ABV, but it actually says the latitude and longitude there. There we go, 3.6%.
More breweries need their latitude and longitude on cans of beer.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
Now, for some people, they might not have had it before, but it used to just be called Goes, right?
Yes.
Pisces is the newer name for it?
Yeah, this is now the permanent name for the Goza. Yeah, it was just in a silver can with a little label that said Goza on the side. And so it's basically become part of their lineup. They're going to do over and over again. So that makes me happy.
And it's year-round.
It started out as a little tiny batch, and now that it's year-round, I'm pretty excited about that.
Now I wonder, awesome. Do you think they're going to ever go for an all-can situation?
I don't know.
Because they have the Mida, the Main Island Trail Ale. They also have that in the cans. I'd be, if you can give me an Ishmael in a can. I mean, vessel to me doesn't matter. If it's in a bottle, I'll take it anyway. But
if I had to guess, I'd say it's because they invested in the bottling infrastructure. They have a bottling line.
Yep.
I know that they did make the decision to switch from the big bottles to the 4-packs of bottles. So they don't. Sure. They started in that that's the bomber size. So I'm happier that they're in individual ones. And the combination of cans and bottles doesn't bug me much. And as long as they keep putting Mida in cans. Because you can bring it camping and stuff. The Main Island Trail Ale is one of my faves there.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe at some point they'll switch over completely. I wouldn't put that out of the spectrum of what they might do. But if I had my own awesome bottling line, I'd probably want to use it as much as I could.
Definitely. As I was saying the question, I'm starting to sound like the majority right now. Like the people that just want cans. I'm like, wait, hold on, no. Why am I saying that? But it's like me wanting something that I don't really need that. It's like shopping on Amazon. I have Prime. I want everything.
But like I said, I am happy that they are in, kind of one serving things because it makes it easier, to have them for a picnic or, bring them with you somewhere.
Yeah. Is Midas still around, the trail ale? That's not year-round, but it's long season?
Nope, it's not year-round, but it's still there. So get it while you can.
Yeah. The fresh batch just came into New Hampshire, so you should be able to find that.
We can get that here, too. I gotta get
you definitely get that there.
I gotta talk to my local distributor. I don't know who the hell to talk to, though. It's weird. Hey, listen, at the far left here, Ben Watts. What's up, buddy?
What's up, you guys? How you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
Good.
Are you quaffing anything?
I am. I just had to duck out real quick. I got some Lawson's Super Session number 2 going here.
Ooh.
It is refreshing and smooth.
Awesome. Goes well with the crazy heat wave that has just begun here.
Oh yeah.
Sean, were you just caught in that rain craziness that just came through?
Not today. I was on Saturdays. I kind of missed today's crazy rain.
I miss Saturdays altogether, but that's the weather podcast is the after show to this podcast, so we'll get to that later. So past couple weeks have been interesting. I know Carl's been traveling. I want to hear a little bit about if you had any beer things going on, but real quick, I wanted to give a shout out to Bissell Brothers and Foul Mouth Brewing up in South Portland, Maine. Great breweries. I pulled up Bissell Brothers first a couple weeks ago, and there was a line out the door. So I said, you know what? I'll do the old switcheroo on the trip. Went to Foul Mouth first. Walked right in. Great beers. They had a coconut stout on nitro, which is fantastic. I walked out with a couple glasses because I love their logo. It's just like someone screaming obscenities. So I have a couple posters on my cubicle at work because come at me. And you're going to see those things. But no, the beers are great. I didn't get a chance to try the food there, but Carla, have you tried the food at Foul Mouth at all?
Yeah, I had some kind of I forget. It was like a spicy BLT or something, and it was great. Yeah. They have kind of a limited menu, but honestly, it's really good food.
Definitely. And right after that, went over to Bissell, and my on deck beers, the Reciprocal, hanging out right here. Because that was what they were releasing that day. But man, Bissell, it's so weird. I get this feeling a lot for a lot of weird things, even people I don't know. Like I walk into something where I see someone doing good things, I'm like, man, good for them. Like I'm just standing in the middle of Bissell Brothers, like good for them, because it's such a cool space. It is 100% Bissell Brothers. It's not like they did it from top to bottom. It's great, love it. And they had falafel truck outside, so it was like my little slice of heaven that I need to go back there. But yeah, it's fantastic. I had a great time, and it was packed, but it's one of those things where the line is longer than fits the people. I mean, it fits way more people inside, upstairs, and downstairs than the line could ever show you. I thought it was going to be packed, but it was spread out. Good for them. So then I quickly ran over to Bunker. I don't know if they were running low on stuff. I don't know if they're moving. They only had a couple beers on draft. The beers they had were great, but I had a sense that they either just ran out of some stuff that they had. But I always love making a stop over there to seeing what's going on. But I thought they were moving to Thompson's Point at some point. Carla, am I getting that?
Well, they're moving. Yeah, they're moving down into that neighborhood. But okay. I don't know what I'm still a little fuzzy on, and I've heard both ways, and I really should catch up on this story, is that they might just be moving their production over there and keeping the tasting room where it is. They might keep both spots, but they might not. I'm not sure. Cool. So I haven't seen any like social media posts about like, hey, there's how the space is coming along, and like I haven't really been in the. They haven't been sharing many details, so I owe them a visit to ask them what's up over there. But I did have, I'll tell you, it was really hot on Saturday at that Brewers Fest, and at the end when we were putting everything away, somebody gave me a cipher, and it was really good.
Wow, that's good beer, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much my week before. But then I this past weekend I went to a wedding down in Gardner, Mass. Stopped at the Gardner Ale House, and boy, if their beer list is not the longest thing I've ever seen. Sean, have you been there recently?
Last couple of months.
A double-sided page of all drafts. Man, they got a lot of drafts.
It's good.
Yeah. Oh no, it was good. I had something called Juice Bigelow.
They're on a much smaller system, so that you can actually brew different styles each time, and then kind of run through them.
Are we kidding me with that smile? If you're not watching YouTube video, you're missing out on the podcast here. Charlie Watts.
I'm gonna have to take care of this, but I wanted you guys to say hi while she's awake.
Aww,
Show Sean what's coming down the pipe, buddy.
Oh yes, that's awesome. Look at her. She's
not too thrilled.
She looks psyched.
Still adorable though.
She's all wrapped up. I don't know if you can see. She's
like totally swaddled. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Burrito baby.
First baby on the podcast.
I can get her down.
All right, do it. Do it to it. Yeah. So first podcast baby right there. Brad on the
Amber.
Oh, speaking of which, hi.
Put one in there.
So cute.
We have Amber of Tuber Guys fame. What's going on, Amber?
Hi.
Yeah,
Not too much, just hanging out.
Nice.
Hi, guys.
Oh, Charlie says peace out. And I'm bringing Dad with me, so Ben will be back in a second for sure. But so yeah, I
gotta love the babies.
Oh, wait, I've never heard those words out of your mouth ever. This is the first. Sean Jansen. I love all the babies.
Well, no, that's the show title.
Oh, okay, yeah, totally. I love baby. Well, we'll see what we can do with that title. But yeah, Gardner Ale House, long tap list. I did enjoy the beers that I had there, and then me and Rick Bruce shared a couple of Treehouse beers.
Now, did you know that they do a brunch buffet on Sundays?
I saw
where
it.
It's like huge, massive spread there.
They had a menu there, and I'm like, can we please come back to? And we should have. We really should, because the wedding that we went to was at the hotel up the street, maybe 5 minutes from there. But I should have came back for it. It looked like huge. It looked huge.
Huge.
But yeah, good. I mean, and I hadn't been there for, I would say, 3-4 years, so it's been a while. But I do enjoy the beers there. Just a haul for me to get down there.
It still looks the same. Easy parking.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Always if you can't find a beer on the list that you like, then you may not like beer.
You're in the wrong place. Yeah, right. Yeah. You're in the wrong place, meaning you shouldn't like beer. Yeah, because they had every style, and then like almost 2 of that style was really good.
Yeah.
Carla, you were over Colorado?
Yeah. So I've been traveling everywhere, but I had to go up to a little town called Estes Park, Colorado. It's about 2 hours northwest of Denver. You basically go past Boulder and keep going towards the Rocky Mountains. It's towards the entrance of Rocky Mountain National Park. But lucky me, because the U.S. is crazy with craft beer, there were actually 3 breweries in that town.
Oh, nice.
So I did get to go to 2 of them, and then I went to a restaurant that had really good beer selection at the end. Just by accident, I just went, oh, okay, this looks like a decent place to eat dinner. And then they put down in front of me the beer list, and I was like, are you kidding me? And then as I was leaving my very last meal in the town, I hit up by accident again a happy hour where all the beers were $2, and I had a St. Lupulin by Odell Brewing Company for $2. So I was like,
what?
Yes. But I got to give a shout out to Rock Cut Brewing up in Estes Park. They're relatively new between the breweries that are there. They must have had at least 12 different beers. I tried a sampler flight of 6 of them. Staff was really good. Cool little tasting room right in the middle of town. And I actually ended up drinking with another beer blogger who happened to be there for another reason. And his blog I will look up, but he writes only about Christmas beers, which is cool. So I told him about.
I need that.
31 beers of December.
Yeah, so I told him about that.
All 31, please.
And I got his contact information, so maybe we can get him into that.
He's signed up right now.
He should be. But that was really fun. And I just, it's kind of, I still really haven't been to like Denver proper to explore their beer scene, but I love finding little towns like this that it's a little bitty town, but they know that people like beer and they've got some good breweries and some really good creativity going on. I get more excited about being surprised by beer in a town. You know what I mean? Then, oh yeah, of course I went to Asheville. There's 100,000 breweries there, but like I didn't think there were going to be any in Estes Park. So.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you think, oh, sure, there'll be a bar with beers of other breweries I know.
Yeah,
but to breweries that you didn't even hear about. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I was pretty happy with that. It was cool.
And I hope a lot of people adopt the same mindset where they look for other breweries and not, definitely don't judge a book by its cover, because I'm sure some of the smaller breweries, heck, some of the smaller breweries in New Hampshire, you would drive by and be like, pass. But
yeah.
Stop and try the beer there. It's good stuff. Any plain beers? Any good things on the plane? Or?
I don't typically drink on the plane, just because it doesn't make me feel great, like nausea-wise.
Yep.
But I was flying JetBlue, and they do stock local craft beer, and there were some good beer selections in the Denver airport. But I've experienced that before, because at the first Beer Bloggers conference, we all hung out and when we met at the airport and waiting for our planes, drank in some of the little brew pubs there. But But I do love me my JetBlue, and they do have good beer on tap there, but I just don't usually partake.
Cool. Any other highs in the mountain highs?
No, I mean, getting that Odell's IPA for $2 was pretty cool.
Coming back with some hot deals.
It was kind of funny because it was a little Mexican joint. It was called like Rita's Margaritas or something, so I didn't think they were going to have any beer. And then when I looked at the beer list, I went, awesome. Okay, I didn't even know it was happy hour. So they were like, oh, it's happy hour. Do you want a beer? And I'm thinking it's only going to be like the 5 domestics or whatever, but it was anything on their list. And they had a couple different IPAs. They had, a bunch of stuff. And I was like, all right. So I spent $4 and had 2 really nice IPAs.
Awesome. Sweet. So what's Shano? What have you been up to? I mean, and then I want you to segue right into you and Carla doing that beer fest this week, because it sounded like a good time and then also a scary time at the end.
Oh yeah, definitely. So
definitely scary. Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. The first thing I want to say is that I visited the new Notch.
Oh.
So,
yes.
2 Sundays ago, Amber and my mom actually went on an adventure to Salem and to kind of check out. We haven't talked about that yet, right?
So them opening? It was on the topic, so hit it up. They officially opened.
So they officially opened. They have a great spot in Salem. It's right in the waterfront. There's a huge, big garage door. Opens up to this patio with it's really a rocky area where they have different picnic tables. Everything you order by default by the liter. So it's perfect, and you're right on the ocean too. So that, not the ocean, but the river. So that there's a great waterway right in front of you, and there's a lot of wind that flows through it. So it's a really nice spot that they have. Very kind of industrial inside, very tall ceilings, a lot of great artwork on the walls, and just like this old historic building that they've rebuilt into be the brewery. And the funniest part is that they opened up on Saturday, and we got there on Sunday, and that they ran out of beer.
Whoa, jeez.
So we were there.
First of all, when you serve beers in liters to everybody, that's the problem number one.
Exactly.
That's awesome, though. Great problem to have.
And they had multiple beers on draft, too, but they basically...
That's cool.
We got to the door, and someone was like, we've run out of beer, and so our thought was like, well, we've come this far. We need to at least take pictures inside. Can you let us in so we can take pictures? Which they did, and eventually we saw Chris, and he was like, well, we might be able to find a pint left.
Awesome. That's good stuff.
Yeah, so it was good.
Did you, for those that might not know the area or are familiar, do you have to drive through the center of Salem to get to that place?
You do. It's literally across the street from the Salem Beer Works.
Oh wow! Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So it is pretty much there. Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
So
because I say the hardest thing for me to get to Salem, and I guess for anyone coming from up here, is it's not right off the highway. You have to go through 114 and all that. It's just kind of like a couple extra steps, even though it's like right straight line as the bird flies is right there.
You earn it to get there.
It's also the first town I've ever been in that has blinking green traffic lights, and I don't know what to do.
Keep going.
Serious.
Just keep going.
I don't know what that means. Like, I know what blinking yellow means, I know what blinking red means, but blinking green.
Ghost crossing.
Yeah. So no, but Salem's a really great town, and it's fun walking around, especially in the fall when they get all the witchy stuff going on too. Fun.
Nice. And so Sean, they had how many beers do they have on tap to start? 'Cause I know on the show notes we have the links to their schedule, which I believe is Wednesday through Sunday. Now they're doing that, but how many beers or so do they have on tap when you were there? Or
I want to say that they had at least 5 or 6.
Cool. And that's a good amount.
And by the time we got there were 2 left.
Nice.
And they were pretty much, well, after I got my pint, which I feel bad, they were literally out very shortly after that.
And it should be noted that they have cold brew coffee. I saw their latest
Yes,
Instagram.
and it looked really good.
It looks,
yes. Some people who didn't get beer, but then drinking cold brew coffee.
I don't know with that. And it looks just like a stout. Like the whole nitro tap things that's happening around here. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
What else?
If you were following Norm, he actually went there this past weekend.
I saw it. I was because we kind of swapped places. He lives sort of near Gardner, and I came down that way, and he came over here. So it was oh boy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not something that we went to, but I know that our last show we actually talked about the Bloggers Conference. I just want to mention there was one of the participants, the Buffalo beer biochemist, Kevin Wise. He's got a really cool website. It's buffalobeerbiochemist.com. Shortly after the Bloggers Conference, he actually passed away.
Yeah. And I talked to him for quite a bit while we were at the conference. He's a wicked friendly guy, telling me all about Buffalo beer and kind of why I should pay attention to Buffalo, New York, and talking about upstate and snow and everything. And it's a shame. It's too bad.
Oh yeah.
And if you have a chance to check it out, or anyone that's listening, go to buffalobeerbiochemist.com and kind of look at some of the articles that he wrote. And he wrote an interesting story about the top 10 moments of the Bloggers Conference.
Okay.
And it was very well done. And I think it's a good little tribute for people to check that out. And
oh yeah, put the link in the show notes, and we'll
yeah.
Cool. Well, not
Definitely.
cool, but yeah. That's...
Yeah. So I wanted to mention that. So and sorry for the downer news.
No,
but,
it's fine.
As you kind of alluded to, this past weekend, I didn't know if Carla was going to be there, and I don't think she knew that I was going to be there.
No, I didn't. I saw you walk past the window of the yurt, and I was like, ah!
Yeah. So we both ended up at the Maine Brewers Guild Summer Beer Fest that was held at Thompson's Point. The Beer Fest, obviously put on by the Guild, supported by the breweries in Maine, awesome by itself, but they also have this concept where a Maine brewery can invite a guest and a friend to come join with them and be at the fest. So basically everybody was inviting their best friend brewery to come and pour, and I happened to be there through friends of Jack's Abbey that were pouring that day, and they were actually invited by Barreled Souls.
Cool.
And so that was kind of the cool part. And there was a bunch of different Massachusetts breweries. There was a bunch of different Vermont, New Hampshire, from all sorts of different parts of the area. And it was kind of cool. It was not just that, hey, we're the Maine Brewers Guild. Here are only beers you can get in Maine. It's like, here's some really other cool stuff that you can get in Maine. Plus, here are our friends. Very, very well done. Great layout of the event. They had the big area where so it's Thompson's Point where we all went to the beer camp, and they do a bunch of other fests there. And,
yeah.
And
that's not where it used to be though, right? Was it somewhere else last year?
No, it was at the. So they did both Sierra Nevada Beer Camp and the Maine Brewers Guild Fest. They've done it at that location.
At the same place. Okay.
But it was a little laid out differently this year. Just because they've been making that Thompson Point venue into like a concert venue, so there's
I saw some tour buses
there that wasn't there before.
Yep.
I haven't seen any concerts there yet, but I hear it's a fun place to have a concert. But...
Cool. Sorry, Sean.
Sorry, keep going, Sean. Sorry.
I was putting a pin on the map. Sorry.
In a layout, logistically, they have the big area where a lot of people were in, which is like that fixed structure, and then they had a tent that was kind of in the back, kind of not really connected to it. I thought that if they're gonna, this was a bunch of breweries. I never made it into that tent.
I know why they did that. It's because of that yurt. So the normal thing is so the yurt. I was in this thing that's like a semi-permanent structure, round. One of those. It's supposed to be able to be easy to take up, easy to take down kind of thing. But they couldn't or didn't remove that, and that made them change the layout of the thing, because previous fests they've had everybody under that permanent structure, and then the only thing they put in the other tents were things like a beer education sessions or merchandise or something like that. So they were really kind of put in a hard spot because this thing took up basically that front quarter of that, under the platform space. So that was kind of their way of compromising for that. I think they're going to probably look at that again next year and try to figure out if they can do something a little different, because it's just
layout-wise, I thought that it should be the same dimensions, or not dimensions, but the same direction that the general fence is,
parallel on the side.
And then you just kind of go through one and kind of follow through, and so that you're in the tent, you're not in the tent, and kind of it just flows through.
Kind of out the end.
And not be disjointed. Well, either out the end or side, or the next of it where they had the water stations and the table in that field area, where they could have easily people could have just gone from one to another. I feel bad. I never made it into the tent, and there's a bunch of people that I would love to have seen that were in the tent. I ended up actually helping out for a couple different breweries who the folks went solo. So I helped pour for Butch for a little bit.
Cool.
Because he drove up solo from Earth Eagle.
They were there? I
oh yeah.
I didn't even know that. Jeez.
Oh yeah, Earth Eagle.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, we can go through the list of breweries. It was an amazing list.
Yeah, if you want to mind.
72 breweries, which is awesome.
What?
And not a loser among them.
Whoa.
It wasn't on the radar. I was just like,
okay.
Sorry.
Well, you were at a wedding, so.
No, I know, but I just didn't know that it was that many breweries for some reason.
No, well, we have 80 total in Maine right now, so.
Of course you do.
But I gotta say, I didn't get a huge chance to go out and explore all the beer that was there, but the breweries that came, the folks that came, are the best of Maine and the best of the the breweries in the surrounding area. I genuinely. This is my favorite fest, just through and through. And every year they take feedback in and they learn a little bit. They kind of adjust things as they go. They do well. While Sean's looking for the list of the breweries, I actually took on a special role this year in that same yurt that we were talking about. They couldn't really put one brewer in the yurt or anything. They just had this space, so they came up with the idea of having a tag sale to benefit the Brewers Guild. So what they did is they had me coordinate with all the breweries in Maine, basically call them up and say, hey, if you have any old merchandise, last year's shirts or sizes you didn't get rid of, or water bottles or tap handles or whatever, if you want to donate that to the Guild, we're going to sell them all kind of at a flat price. So all the T-shirts for $10, all the hats for $5, that kind of thing.
It'd be like a really cool label, it was like an envelope that had beer labels and stickers.
Yeah,
and
there were beer labels,
probably like
stickers,
15 to 20 different things. It was $1.
Yeah, it was $1. So there's
nice.
So there was a lot of stuff. So I went through, I organized it all and made this little tag sale. So we raised almost $2,500 for the Brewers Guild, and that's awesome considering we were selling everything for like $10. You know what I mean? Nice. So I was really happy with how it turned out. The brewers were fantastic with giving up some donations to help their guild, and it's just kind of to me it speaks to how much they really love their Brewers Guild and how they know that it's special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously they could probably make a profit themselves on some of that stuff, but they really just wanted to contribute, and it was really fun.
Yeah. Well, what happened towards the end of that? Something.
Okay. So yeah.
Wait a second. Hold on.
Yeah. Before we get to that.
Carla, do you want to do a speed round of how many that we can say in a row?
Let's talk a speed. Okay, we'll do a speed round. So for those at home, I was in the chat. I'm like, let's not, because there's a lot of breweries. Okay. But if you guys want to go hear it, because it might help for next year too. So let's go through a speed round. Okay. Both of you do what you want.
I'll start. I'll stop at the end of the B's, and then you can take over. How's that?
Perfect. Well, there's a lot though.
All right. Allagash Andrews, Artisan Beverage Cooperative, Atlantic, Austin Street, Banded Horn, Barreled Souls, Baxter, Air Bones, Bigelow, Bissell Brothers, Black Bear, Black Hog, Booth Bay, The Brewery, Bunker, Burlington Beer Company.
You missed Aeronaut, so I mentioned
How did I miss Aeronaut?
Yeah, it was first. Citizens.
I had scrolled down too far.
Burlington, huh? Jeez.
Yeah. Citizen Cider, Dirigo, Earth Eagle, Farnham Ales and Lagers, Finback, Four River, Foulmouth, Foundation, Funky Bow, Gagan Brothers, Geary's Brewing, Nice Brewing, Gritty's, Gruit at UFF, Hidden Cove, Hoof Hearted, Industrial Ales, Jack's Abbey, Kennebuck River, Kennebuck Brewing, Federal Jacks, Left Hand, Liberty Craft Brewing, Liquid Riot, Lively Brewing at Ebenezer's, Lone Pine, Lord Hobo, Lost Nation, Maine Beer,
Marsh Island, Marshall Wharf, Masons, Mast Landing, Medusa, Monhegan, Night Shift, North Country, Norway, Oak Pond, Orno, Oxbow, Penobscot, Peak, Pennsawasi, Rhinegeist, Rising Tide, Rock Harbor, Run of the Mill, Sebago, Sheepscott Shipyard, Muddy Nose, Some, Stoneface, Strong, Sunday River, Tributary, Tumbledown, Two Roads, Von Trapp, and Zero Gravity.
Wow.
Booyah!
I'm shocked to hear some of the, like, yeah, that's
and so, like, just a couple, like, there's a brewery called Industrial Arts Brewing Company. They actually use that as their debut. I think they're from Mass, if I could be wrong. The brewery from Seattle was there, brought Tart of Darkness. It was just like, we got all the great stuff from Von Trapp. Everybody was at Zero Gravity, you know, in addition to these great named breweries. Hoof Hearted are the ones that have come into the area recently. I forget where they're from originally. Connecticut? I don't remember. But they're from all over the place. And then we got Black Hawk. Tyler Jones.
His special VIP was a beer to guard, and it was fantastic.
Nice.
Fantastic. Nice. And he was like 2 tables down from Bissell. It's funny. The VIP was great, and it didn't actually feel like when the VIP rolled into like the regular crowd, you couldn't really tell because it never got super crazy. But then there was a couple breweries that like there's a line here, and you're like, there's 98% of the time if you waited longer than like 2 people in front of you, then you were just in the wrong line.
Yeah. Jeez.
That's the sad part about it, is that there was so much great beer there that there was no lines, and it was just a lot of people, and it was not just a sales rep or some guy that works on the marketing team. It was really brewers and owners of breweries that were actually there supporting their brand and pouring in their product, which was awesome.
Nice. If I could ask, the one name that stuck out to me was Gruit. Did you try anything? Was anything notable that, if you remember? Because I know there's a lot of breweries there. But.
I didn't have Gruit at the fest, but I've had Gruit now. So that's Urban Farm Fermentory's beer arm. So they made a Chaga Stout. They had I tried 3 of them, and they were all very interesting. They're doing the same type of thing that they're doing with their kombuchas and whatnot, is using locally foraged ingredients and kind of combining them in different ways. And I thought they were pretty interesting. I've only had those first debut ones that they've made, but it goes really well with their existing lineup of beer or of non-beer products, the ciders and the kombucha that they make.
Cool.
Yeah.
So is it called Gruit at UFF? Is that the name of the brewery?
Yes.
Okay.
The naming,
I'll take that as an answer.
Well, the thing is, the naming convention's a little weird. I thought it was just plain old Gruit, but everywhere I've seen it written is Gruit at UFF. So I feel like it's like a brewery within UFF.
Yeah, just making sure that you know where it is.
Yeah. So it's it's one of those fancy or different nomenclatures that I have to figure out exactly how it's supposed to go. Oh, but I keep seeing it written Gruit at UFF.
Keep an eye out for that, because and for that list of breweries, and $60 at VIP sounds like a steal.
Yeah.
So, and then also, not to mention the tag sale thing that happened, sounds like an awesome time.
You want to get a bunch of really cool rare random shirts for $10.
Do we talk about the weather? We didn't.
Not yet.
So, okay. So now we're talking about the weather.
So here's the thing.
$60 is great for a perfect day.
Yes, okay, but even then, it's a long fest. It's one session, right? So realistically, even if you buy a non-VIP ticket, you can drink from 1 to 5 p.m. That's long. Okay?
Really long.
And then you have another hour after that where they don't pour. They just kind of let you kind of like chill out, get a little food, mingle, listen to some music, and then you leave. You can leave up to 6. And they do that so that people aren't like shotgunning before they leave.
That's a great idea.
Whatever.
I like it.
It's great. It's fantastic. And there's plenty of places to sit, whatnot. If you get for the VIP session, that means you've gone from noon to 5 drinking. Long day. Okay. So I'm putting that out there first because the beer fest unfortunately did have to end early due to a weather event.
So you may not have noticed it. So while we were pouring, as a worker part of the fest, people were coming by probably around 2:30, 3 o'clock and saying, there's inclement weather coming in. We're kind of figuring out what we're going to do. We're not really sure. We may close down early. We want to let you know.
Yep, I got that.
And so a lot of people were like, okay, whatever. It was getting windy, and everybody's like banner was like turning into like a ship sail and like knocking stuff over.
It's
but
happening.
it like took like this like really ridiculously hot day, and like kind of the temperature just changed because the wind was coming through. So people were like, oh, you're on the wind side. This is great. But at the same point, you're like trying to make sure that everything you have is not getting blown around.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, the storm's coming, and the storm's coming, and everyone, I think Workham was looking up, was like, well, yeah, the skies are blue. What's going to happen? So they made a decision and said, we're closing down at 4 o'clock.
Yep. And when I say they, when you say they, it is actually the security personnel of the venue that made the final decision.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a tough decision, even if it's not going to happen.
But it's the risk of an outdoor venue, right?
So,
even if it was a concert, they could have done the same thing.
Totally.
So guess what happened?
Yeah.
The pandemonia of people. The Brewfest was going till 5. I'm not getting an hour.
Oh, no way. People were rioting?
No, they were like coming up to the tables and like, they were like getting as many tasters within like a very short period of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even know how it was announced.
That's awesome.
It was announced basically. They were a couple of security folks that were kind of yelling it as they went, to kind of announce it to the sections. But basically, I was hearing it trickle through via word of mouth, kind of like, oh, we're shutting down at whatever, we're shutting down at 4, we're shutting down at 4.
I was pouring samples at the time, and all of a sudden, it just the same people came back like every 30 seconds.
We're back.
The whole people were trying to drink really fast before they had to go, but then I think when the storm actually rolled in, most people were like, "Oh, okay."
They weren't kidding. We're out of here.
They were not kidding. So what they had people do is to go into one of the brick buildings by Thompson's Point, or to go back to their cars. They were trying very hard to clear the venue. Some people were not cooperative with that. But honestly, I thought they did a pretty decent job of it.
When the rain happened, everybody in the brewer side was cleaning up.
Yes.
So we were just like taking stuff apart, putting stuff together.
Yeah.
The rain is like just comes right down, and you couldn't stand anywhere without getting in it because it was coming every single direction.
Yeah, it was an intense storm.
People were trying to like pull up their cars and load stuff up. So I was helping a local brewery load stuff up, and we were moving and shaking and making it happen, and pulled up the car. We're putting stuff in the back, and we went to the table, and someone goes to us, "If you guys don't get to shelter right now, we're gonna arrest you." And we're like, "What?
Oh,
we want to get out of here."
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
We're working to like clean up our stuff, and then all of a sudden we look over, and there was like 8 cops just coming in the middle of the section, where everyone was, and we were like, okay, I guess we're gonna go sit in the car for a little bit.
It was like Twister. Get out of here.
And so the thing is that what I think also could have been communicated better was ahead of time. I think that there should have been some kind of procedure, at least told to the brewers, like, okay, if we have to shut down for inclement weather, just do the bare minimum of putting your stuff away, evacuate, come back later, we'll take care of it after. Whatever, there was no, they weren't really given instructions. They were just given, hey, we're shutting down. But you can't, shut down and pack up all your shit in 10 minutes. It's just
especially if it's all metal and there's lightning.
And it's heavy, and it's kegs, and it's, big stuff. So if there had been more clear instruction, either just as procedure, okay, it's an outdoor venue. If we get shut down, you're to leave your kegs there, come back, we'll take care of it afterwards. Don't worry about it. If anything gets damaged, we'll take care of it. Whatever the procedure makes sense to be. But the thing is that they were giving instructions to everyone under the tent, or under the structure, as if they were one unit of people that were attendees. But they weren't. So the brewers were trying genuinely to do the right thing and comply with the instructions at the same time, but then didn't realize whether or not those instructions applied to them or just the participants or what. So it got a little chaotic, especially for the brewers, I feel like. Or at least people pouring.
Ridiculous. It was crazy.
It sounds to me like a hate to bring out a corporate term, but like a lessons learned kind of thing, where next year they're going to have it, whether it's like a full sunny day or whatever, they're going to have a thing at the beginning, say here's what happens in case of like this crazy storm, because I don't think anyone was expecting a crazy storm like what just happened this weekend.
But
you know,
venue should have expected it. You know what I mean? Like there should be
sure. If it's outside, yes.
There's policies for everything at these venues. So the message of what to do or what the procedure is for shutting down with inclement weather, because somebody was saying, oh yeah, we have a policy that if there's lightning within 15 miles or something, then we shut it down. And it's like, well, if they had known that, then they could have seen the storm coming and gone, maybe I should prepare to shut down, because they're probably, you know what I mean? Like there was a lack of...
If they actually shut down at 3:30 rather than 4, everybody probably would have been packed up and out of there.
But all the participants would have been pissed off, because they would have been like, oh, this guy's... I don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
I think ultimately the decision to shut down was the best decision ever.
Oh, totally.
Because
I'm completely behind that.
Because I was soaked.
Yeah,
and I could only imagine the people who were dry.
Yeah.
No, I was going back to get my car to load the stuff from the yurt sale, because I thought they were going to like completely kick us out. So I, kind of went to go get my car, and even walking across the parking lot in my car, there was like pebbles being like flung at my face in the wind, and I was just like, okay, I'm just going to sit in my car now because I'm not doing shit. Forget the fact that my phone and everything is in that yurt. I don't even care. Like, I'm just gonna sit here and wait for this whole thing to blow over and go to the Winchester and have a pint or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other part. We didn't know it was gonna blow over. It could have just continued.
No, we didn't know either.
It could have been going like crazy forever.
Which is why we were all trying to do the final pack up, and you know what I mean? Like, we thought if we could just get our shit out, then it doesn't matter how long this lasts.
The best part though is that we're sitting in the car and we look around after like 5 minutes. Go, there's still people out there. There's no one getting arrested. We're going to go finish cleaning up and putting stuff in the car.
Jeez.
Yeah, I did that too. Although when we came back, there was one individual being detained by police. I don't know if officially arrested, but they were...
Well, they brought the paddy wagon.
Ah.
Yeah.
But honestly, it is a huge safety thing. I mean, especially in an open thing that's made of metal, with these metal rods that are hanging... all the banners and stuff, like all those banner stands, it's super dangerous. So I get it, but nobody was hurt, in the evacuation or anything like that. I got a little dust in my eye, but I lived. And but honestly, there was a lot of a little bit of flack about that after the fest. But frankly, if people were there since noon, they still got 4 good hours.
Yeah, and it wasn't an $80 fest.
And it wasn't an $80 fest. It was if you got a regular ticket, it was a $50 fest.
And there was some beers there that they would have just paid buco bucks just to even try it.
Totally, yeah. And I still imagine as things go, people are probably calling them for refunds or whatever. But I'm sure it's somewhere in the bylines. Nothing like you can't get refunds, anything like that.
Nope, they're not going to get refunds. But I totally support them closing. So I don't think any of that should reflect poorly on the next year. I'm certain they're going to do it again. The fest, and it's still my favorite fest of all the stuff. It's just awesome.
I like to think our audience is a wide range from beer drinkers to beer event planners. So take whatever we just said into account. That if you have a beer event outside, kind of make the lay of the land. Even if it's like a perfectly sunny day, you never know what's going to happen. There could literally be something going on that's not weather related that you need to get people out quickly. So.
It was so sunny and it turned on a dime.
It was so quick.
And so we got when I was down in Gardner, and we just got some wind, but I came back up here in New Hampshire and there was trees down everything, and my in-laws are like, "You guys missed one hell of a storm." I'm like, what are you talking about? Come back, the power was flickering because it went out. It was all crazy.
Yeah. We had a lot of people that lost power for that too.
Welcome to New England.
But but honestly, super successful as far as I'm concerned. It was great. My only regret is that I was I was basically relieved from my volunteering like 15 minutes before the fest was shut down. So I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Damn it.
But it's all right. Yeah. Honestly, I had a great time, and I have to. One shout I have to do. Lisa Sturgeon of Gagan Brothers brought me beer while I was working, and trapped kind of in the yurt, and she's awesome, and so is Sophie from Sebago. So both of you, double thumbs up.
I would have brought you beer.
Well, it's just one of the things that like.
Sean, you would have
came in like I couldn't like go out and say go get me a beer. Like I was behind.
I brought you beer.
But you did bring me beer.
What a real piece of work, Sean.
Yeah, so you did, but I just got to say they kind of went out of their way to be like, this is awesome. What can we get you? And got me and my volunteers some beer, so that was great.
Awesome. So for those that are listening, that even if you're not even in New England, because weather's crazy everywhere, take note on what Carl and Sean were just saying, because
Still
yikes.
A great thing. Great.
Great fest too. And man, I'm so mad I missed it. But
that beer list was crazy. It was, Brian.
I'll tell you one thing though. The beer list about this weekend, Sean's looking pretty good down in Manchester, New Hampshire.
This weekend?
Oh, at the Guild Fest.
Yes, the Granite State Brewer Association Brewers Fest. Talk about a segue and a half.
Oh.
Basically, all the brewers from New Hampshire are going to be there, and I haven't got my ticket yet, but I'm going to be talking with Sean off podcast to see what the plan stand is, because it looks like a great time. I mean, I won't go through the list, but every brewery that I can see is going to be there. But it's Saturday, the 30th. There's a VIP session that starts at 12. Otherwise, general admission is 1 to 5 p.m. One session, just similar to what we were just talking about. And we're looking at it's only $40 for VIP, which
nice.
Kind of a steal. And there's a ton. It doesn't say the exact amount.
Where is it in Manchester?
It is
they do it over by Millie's.
Arms Park, yeah, right by Millie's.
Oh. So it's like a big, huge parking lot that's to the left of Millie's. So it's at sort of the downtown area, but kind of where the brick buildings are.
And it kind of looks to me like, if anyone's local, it kind of looks a little bit like the Red Oak Fest setup, just in a parking lot kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
cool. I was looking at the picture now. Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of.
I've actually gone the last 2 or 3 years.
It's a good fest.
Yeah, it's a good fest. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
if what you see from this picture here is that is around the outside of what you can't see are food vendors.
Oh, on the other side. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
And there's also back corner. They may change the layout, but there's been a live band or live bands playing. So.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get there. The weather right now looks to be cloudy, which I'm fine with, and 83, as according to weather.com. I'm into it. So I don't know. It seems like a good time. And again, there's a lot of breweries on there that you can't go to visit. The actual, there's no tap room, or it's too far away. So it's kind of a good place to go and see them all in one place.
Yeah.
So based on the list, it's about 37 breweries.
Nice. And I'll give a special shout out to Litherman's Limited, because I had a chance to try their beer up in Loon Mountain last month. Some great beers that are there's a solid cream ale that was coming out of there, and amber was great. So check out them if you're going. I know Mooselik was that the thing that you beer guys ran at Throwback, the freshman class orientation. They were pouring some beers there too. And yeah.
And that the Litherman's is also the podcast of the other podcast.
Tap Handle Show. Yep, Mike Pierce. Yeah.
MHP.
Hey, MHP for short. Get in there. But it's the story behind their brewery is awesome. I recommend checking it out. And there's Schilling's going to be there. There's rarely a time you can get Schilling other than the actual brewery, so that's probably one of those times you want to.
I think looking at the list, the newest brewery is actually I think Pipe Dream, which is over by the airport. So it's the airport where Manchester kind of turns into Londonderry at one point, kind of on the behind it.
Nice.
That's where Pipe Dream is.
There's a couple breweries I don't see on this list, but maybe the list was updated a couple weeks ago, so we'll see what happens.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, so I would say check that out. Other than that, we had another. I might want to save this Miller Coors acquisition for another time where we have another one to talk about. But we have Miller Coors acquiring some stake in Terrapin out of Georgia. But what I didn't know is in 2012 they bought a minority interest in Terrapin. I don't know if you guys knew that too.
Yeah, that's actually
I've completely either forgot about that. We may have even talked about it on the show for all I know, but. That's interesting that Miller Coors would get a little more take a bigger bite out of Terrapin.
Yeah, that's it. They're kind of to help them grow and become national.
Yeah, and listen, I'm fine with that. Right now they're in 12 states, I believe Terrapin is.
The other story is also the bigger story is what the big merger of SAB and AB InBev and kind of what the federal DOJ has actually kind of or is it federal or
yeah, it's the DOJ. Yep.
Who's actually they put some requirements out there recently if they're going to actually make it happen. That kind of restrict a lot of different things related to Anheuser-Busch owning different self-distribution and what their volumes could be, along with what the requirements for wholesalers that they're partnering with that can actually make a big changes in how they're effective in the craft world or not. So it's kind of interesting.
Check it, yeah, definitely check that out because it's. We'll be talking about probably this more than mergers.
Well, the other part that you may not have seen in the article yet is that Brexit has actually caused a problem for the Miller Coors AB InBev merger because the pound has dropped or has changed in value, and that it was the basic payout for shareholders was based on the pound value at the time, where that they're now looking at it and say what we agreed to, we're no longer seeing the same value as it was before.
Oops.
So that's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Hey man, we didn't see this happening. Thing called Brexit wasn't even in the dictionary at the time. I'm sorry. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah. Wow. And who knew? I mean, obviously it affects a lot. So it's not nice to see, but it's interesting to see that it will affect things as far as beer and something as big as the SAB acquisition. So
exactly,
we'll keep an eye on that for sure because that's going to be happening. I mean, that's happening now, but it'll be developing along with this DOJ thing. I think we'll shut it down. I mean, there's an empty chair on the far left, which is really a hole in my heart. But no,
we have a little baby time.
Yeah, hey, listen, nothing wrong with the baby time. You can probably hear us too. But as far as this week's concerned, nothing much going on. I might head on down to that Manchester festival I was talking about. I've been kind of keeping Ben has been keeping me well stocked with beer, so I haven't really gone out much. So I appreciate it. He made a run down at Julio's, so that's pretty much that. But I made a run over to Seven Settlement, so I'll probably go there again because that's kind of my go-to from where I live. So it's an awesome brewery with some good brews. But Carla, up to anything crazy beer related in the past week, next week?
In the upcoming week, probably not. I kind of need to go through all of the leftovers from the Maine Brewers Guild tag sale that are hanging out in wet cardboard boxes in my garage this weekend. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't have any solid plans for the weekend beer related at this second.
Just keep an eye on Carla's Twitter because the gifts she's throwing out are legit. Coming back and everything's just on fire. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Shano, are you making the way down to the fest this weekend?
Let's chat. Let's chat.
Right.
Make it happen.
Let's chat because I got nothing going on. So
I did forget to say last week I went to a beer dinner in Bedford.
I saw the pictures. How was it? It looked tasty.
I probably should have read more about it before I went to it, like everything else that I do.
Oh, it's too fancy for you?
No, every course was based on a pork product, and
yes.
They used a single pig to then be able to break it down and make all these different things. So it included bacon and all these other things, and it was delicious.
It looked
awesome.
It was
at a place called Technique in Bedford.
It was all Henniker, right?
Yep, all Henniker, different Henniker beers. Paired with these just amazing pork dishes.
I razzed Dave, the owner of Henniker, on one of your photos because one of the photos you took, he looked like it was at the right time.
He was doing that.
His face looked like he was just not want to be there. It was awesome. He's just kind of like that grumpy face for a quick second. I was like, yep, he doesn't look happy. But
and for anyone listening and that knows Dave, this was even better. So they brought out a course that had. This pork loin that was wrapped with bacon, and it was smoked.
Yeah.
And the feature of this was that there was a little glass bowl on top of it that was actually filled with smoke. So They presented it to you by giving you the dish, and releasing the smoke from the bowl, and it was like, so everybody had this whole smoke experience of it just like kind of wafting in your face. And while they went around and there was the different ways of how or who that they were giving, at first, after the first couple of people, everyone was like, oh, let me take out my camera, I gotta really see that. And so Dave was actually one of the last people to actually have it be served to him, and he goes, hold still while I break out my video camera. And it was just like hilarious, because the person was like standing there like this, like, okay, when you're ready,
yeah,
and then to be able to like flip it over and to show the smoke, which was it was really cool presentation, and the food was just so awesome.
It was called Technique, you said?
Yep, Technique, TEK-NIQUE.
Awesome. Yeah, the photos you took I was drooling from wherever the hell I was, but I was like, yep, that looks like the right place to be.
Pork belly. Ooh.
Yeah, say no more. I mean, pork. I'm in. Bacon, yes. Smoke around food, yes. I mean, as long as it has something to do with food and not actual like smoke in my face, that's not.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it. I know Ben is doing things family related, but we meet up once a week at
nursing.
Yeah, he's definitely nursing. Is that how that? I think you're reading the wrong book, Sean. You got to swap books with the one. You got to definitely do a switch. Yeah, we meet once a week at Seven Settlement to talk about what's happened the past week. So we'll catch up on some things. But for now, I think that's gonna do it for this podcast. Episode 148 is in the bag. We are 2 episodes closer to 150. If you guys have anything you want us to do for 150 as far as news stories you want us to cover, anyone you want to give us shout outs to, we will go ahead and do that. Tweet us. You know our Twitters. It's always in the podcast. At BeerBabe, at 2BeerGuys, and at Seacoast BevLab, and at BM Watts. And cheers, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.